parents that allow their children go with vans at 4 a.m. I get up at 5 a.m. going to work. You find vans with sleeping children. They're exposing them to mental pressure. Schools are expecting these children to perform. Parents are allowing their children to go at 6 a.m. Can you imagine? The children don't have space. They go to school. Now, when they get to school, they are learning and they're being beaten for sleeping in class. They are being beaten for not performing well. They're going to play. Children love playing. They're going to play. They'll come back home when they're tired. They have to watch cartoon. They have homework. They get home, they reach the hands of the maid. The maid is all shouting at them. They are put under pressure and they are living on tension. If I want to challenge every parent to see how their children wake up. When you tap on them when you're waking them up, do they wake up freely? Like, do they stretch and wake up freely? Or they wake up in fear? You're getting up and you're all scared and you're all on tension. That's what our children are going through. Parents are letting our children be raised in a hard way, in a very cruel way. If you're not ready to have a child, don't give birth.
Hi, welcome back to The Profile. My name is Christine Yosenga, and we are always here telling stories that inspire, motivate, and empower you through voices. Today with us is Uncle Zaak, and he's going to be sharing with us about his passion for children. You're most welcome to The Profile.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me, Christine, and the Profile team. I'm really, really grateful. Thank you for the care. I honestly feel at home. Yeah.
So, well, as a young person, where do you get the passion for children?
Growing up, I was raised in a society where, as a child, my opinions didn't matter. And because I was really, really passionate about my country and I had a dream of seeing my country evolve, even in conversations in society where I had ideas as a person, I always felt like it's impossible for me to, I always found boundaries to bring out the idea that I have at heart. Even when I felt this is really an idea to change in my family, change something in society, or even in my country. So it really blocked me, and the blockage caused the passion. It ignited the fire in me to come up, and I always told myself that one day I'll fight for a space and create a platform where children can rise up and participate in political, social, and economic conversations in society at free will, because they also have ideas that really matter. So that's like the bigger picture of where my passion for this came from.
About that, do you think children at a young age, or maybe at what age do you think a child should be allowed to make a decision, to be a part of decision making, maybe at home?
According to the law, 18 years, you're now an adult. You've crossed from being a child. But before that age, before 18, children should be taken through a process where they are taught and are made to understand that their views matter, that their ideas matter. So it's not that they've been given an opportunity to make decisions on their own. But from 0 to 18 years, it's a training process, it's a training phase of life. What you put in the heads of the children, what you make them exposed to, really builds a brand that maybe will be good at decision making. So as parents, as guardians, I really think 18 years and below is the time for you to prepare your child, especially the tender ages, 5, 6, 7, 8. Where children are really very eager and have a lot of ideas and really want to learn so much. They really want to learn a lot, and it's that age that you really introduce them to a version of themselves. You introduce them to ideas, you bring conversations, and you show them that really their ideas matter. Though you're creating a relationship, you're not allowing them to make decisions, but you're teaching them how to make decisions. So it's a learning phase. Yeah.
Sometimes a child will be like, I don't want to eat this and I want to eat this. Do you think that's also a part of allowing them to make decisions?
They are fine to make such. That's a decision you can make. Imagine they don't put on white cloth. and they would prefer a red cloth. Now, that's a very, very good example that a parent can use to teach them. Why are you asking them to put on white? Ask them, why do you prefer red instead of white? Because they must be having a reason. So understanding that when I am to put on a white cloth, there has to be a reason as to why I'm putting it on, is a very big lesson for them at when they're maybe 23 or 25 and they're going to make a decision, a life-changing decision. They'll first ask themselves, why am I making the decision? So it starts from that. I don't eat this, I don't eat pizza. Why? Ask them, why do you want this? Why don't you want this? There must be a reason. So it's something that parents should not look at and take for granted, but should embrace and understand that it's an opportunity they have to utilize, to teach them, to make them understand what is expected of them. Yeah.
So like today in class, someone told us that like they have a child, and this child was before they went to school, they were drawing. I don't know whether they call them portrait, like drawing a human as a human.
Yeah.
But then when they went to school, they told them that you have to draw, let's say, a stick.
Stigma.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, do you think at that age a child should be allowed to express what they feel should be done?
We are born talented. You're born. God has given us special gifts. So right away from birth, and it's unfortunate that some people in society have not been so careful to identify their children's talents at a young age. So you, as a parent, after finding out that your child is good at art or is good at music, what have you done about it? Like, what have you said about it? Have you informed the teachers? Maybe have you taken them and done something extra? But we have to understand that we are all gifted differently. Sometimes if you let them, at maybe in a class they are in, is something they expected of, and it's a challenge that some teachers won't allow them identify their talents, because there is a mindset put on that. You can be in P1 and you're singing very nice. You're in P4 and they're singing very beautiful. And you think that maybe that teacher will be like, this is too much for him. No. So society should be willing to open our minds. You should be willing to let go of a mindset that the children, we are supposed to live in a certain kind of style. So as a person, I believe it's okay. Let the children identify. I do a podcast where I help children identify their talents. I emphasize the fact that parents, guardians, and people in the society should be a biggest contributor to children identifying who they are. That's the best gift you can give them. We've struggled so much trying to figure out what we want. For instance, like I joined journalism school because my parents were supportive. But I have friends that have been doing courses. They've done courses that are in fields that they never have passion for. This is my field. I'm passionate about it. But imagine my parents wanted me to be maybe a doctor. Imagine what kind of doctor I would make. So it's more of just walking a journey with your child. If it's a talent, what are you doing about it? If they love playing football, as a parent, as a teacher, what's something extra are you doing to this kid? Are you just talking about it? Are you trying to involve them and show them that they can actually earn money out of this? Yeah.
Now, like there is an instant where maybe I want my child to be a lawyer, but then this child has so much interest in football. So I want them to be, they call them responsible people. So is there a chance that I can train this child from childhood to be a lawyer?
That's a very beautiful question, but I will respond to it in this way. It's not that being anything. Okay, we have irresponsible lawyers. I hope you've met one.
Yeah, they do.
Least.
But parents always have those.
Yes, that's the mindset I'm fighting for. That's the mindset I'm fighting to change. We have irresponsible lawyers. We have irresponsible doctors. We have very responsible musicians. We have very responsible artists. And these are careers that parents look at and they're like, to hell with this. But if we can change our minds and we become more open to let things be the way they're supposed to be, support your child, help them grow to what they feel they are good at, and everything will be good for them. At the end of the day, I think I really perform best. I perform best in who I am. I perform best as somebody that supports the growth of children. If I'm talking, and because this is me, I would perform bad if this was a musical show and I was singing. I don't think I would perform. So the same way, even these careers, yes, you take them to school, help them learn, but let them do what they feel is good. Advise them, get mentors for them, introduce them to mentorship. Mentorship is really important. Introduce them to mentorship. At times, as in mentorship, I joined mentorship because there's something I was expecting out of it. But because when you join mentorship, you should be ready to learn and relearn. I unlearned a lot of things, and that's who you're seeing now. Because I went join mentorship thinking I'm a certain kind of person, but I realized as this. Yeah.
So I am still on that. You want them to be that.
Yeah.
They may be, they want to be a lawyer, yes, and you want them to be doctors. Is there a way you can train them?
You can train them. So many people have been forced to do things they don't want.
Yeah, because at a young age, you're seeing a lot of things. Sometimes
my argument is, let the parent and the child and the teacher walk a journey. The teacher and the parent should be in touch, should understand that they are working out something to help the baby, to help the kid. So it's not letting the teacher take the lead and the parent you're just looking for money. No. Or let the teacher, it should be, you should all play, two-way thing. The teacher should be, parents should know the teacher of the kid. Identify the talent in them. Identify the strength in them. I could be good at speaking, but I imagine you identified at a very tender age, and you groom a kid at 7 years. They already know they are good at speaking. They've already been introduced to mentorship. They've already been taken to classes, maybe speaking classes. Imagine how good the person would be. So it's a journey that you should take, not with a biased mind that this is what I gave birth to. Like, God has created the kid differently from you.
Yes.
We all have different paths. What you might think is where maybe the money is from. I've seen doctors who are crying. I grew up parents saying you have to be a doctor to get money, but I've seen doctors that are broke. I've seen lawyers that are really down. So it's not about where it's at the end of the day, it's not about money. It's about how much contribution are you giving to society. How much impact are you raising your kid to contribute to the society? Not just how much money they have, not about how much resources they carry, but are you grooming them to be maybe to contribute how much are they going to contribute about our society growth? And do they even have passion for the country? So it's a two-way thing, where the teachers and the parents walk a journey together to help the kids. Yeah.
How important do you think open communication is between the parent and the children?
Yeah, open communication is really important. Introducing the kid to creating a space where you and the kid are free gives you an upper hand to whatever idea society will bring. Having an open discussion with your kids gives them a platform and makes it easy for them to open up to you, because I easily open up to my friends. Imagine a situation where your kids, you're not approaching them with a mindset of judging them. You understand that we are in different generations. The things that you learned at 10, your kid is going to be exposed to them at 3. Things that you learned at 20, by 10 they'll be exposed to them. So approach them with an open mind and create a rapport with them. Allow it to happen. Be free with them. Have open discussions, most especially sexual discussions. This is a point where parents don't want to talk about. And society is funny. It will bring all these things at their exposure.
But, personally, I feel like that sexual education should be having a certain age. Because, you're going to be teaching them, but they want to find out what is that.
it should be having an edge. Different age groups have different approaches to topic sexual education. What you tell a 14-year-old is not what you tell a 7-year-old. So it's upon the parent trying to learn, trying to identify how they can break it down for the kid. Otherwise, society is ready to teach them. One scroll away on YouTube, one scroll away on Google, exposes them to this content. And what's funny, they will start Googling and asking questions, and Google will bring them as open as they are. So if you pre-do it and you show them how bad and how good it is, and tell them the right time to do it, and you show them how they can do it, it will prepare them. They will not be I'm a victim of that, because I never had conversations with my parents. I learned everything from society, from peers, from my phone and from internet and all that. So we should be more open. We should be willing and very, very much available to create a communication pattern with our kids, and actually be free to listen to all the garbage they bring. Otherwise, the more you keep being strict on that and limiting the conversations they bring to you, the more you're killing the gap for them to be free.
Yeah, by the way, mostly with religious parents, they be calling everything evil.
Evil. Call it evil, yet you're sleeping with your mom. Sorry, with their mom. You call it evil, you're sleeping with their dad. And they know. They know because they learn in school. They learn from their peers. They watch on. And the more you shy away from it, trust me, it's how you mess up. Yeah.
And then, we talk about giving children a say or giving them a voice, but still how can parents balance between guiding their children and also giving them that right to make decisions?
Giving them a platform. Now, like I told you in the beginning, if you as the parent, you have created a space where children know and understand that I have to reason before making a decision. Like that's a conversation you had. So even how we were talking before the show, if the parent understands that the children have to make a decision, at the end of the day they have to make the decision, but getting it into their mind that they have to understand that they have to have a reason for that. It's not just making a decision. So it's a conversation, it's a learning process, and it's a lifetime. We want to introduce all these things to children in 1 month, in 1 year. It's a lifetime thing. Right now, there are some things I talk to my mom and I tell people, they're like, how can you say that? And because there is a relationship we had with my parents that exposed me to easily talk about anything, has helped me even overcome different things. So have a reason, introduce them to reasoning, you'll have them.
Okay. Yeah. Most children are introduced to cartoons, and parents think it's a safe way of protecting them while using the technology. But then you realize in these cartoons, we also have some cartoons that are not actually meant for kids. Yeah. We have even cartoons that have mommy, daddy. We have things like Tom and Jerry and many others. Because me, I'm not so much into cartoon, but there are those things that I see. How can parents ensure that they use technology to educate their children and also keep them safe?
Now, the challenge is parents are not willing to. They're not willing to, because the cartoons, we've taken them as a space to make children busy. They should be a center for you and your children to connect. Watch these things with them. If they put it on screen, tell them how bad it is. Put parental locks on the screen. But because we don't watch with them, we feel this is too boring, this is too young for us. And the children watch on their own and learn on their own. They won't tell you. But imagine a situation where you come back home, spare 2 hours, sit down with them, you watch this, what you call childish, with them. Listen to what the conversations are. Play with them. Listen to what how they react when these things happen, how they react to the cartoons, what cartoon do they love? Do you look for the series of that cartoon? Do you actually get, because we have parents that aren't, and they're just parenting, but are not part. They're just parenting, but they're not in the lives of the children. They're parenting at a distance. They're living in the same house. They only meet at the table and are eating. They're only asking the maid, did they eat? Have they slept well? Simple. But it's a whole process. Watch these things with them. Do life with them. Sleep with them. Go to where they sleep. Sleep with them. Listen to everything. Trust me. Everything small like this pulls them closer to them. I watch cartoons with my young siblings, and because of this, we've come so close that they open up in a way that they cannot even open up to a parent. And it's I really request a parent out there to try it. It works. Do life with the children. Eat with them. Watch with them. Play with them. Wash with them. Do house chores with them. Move around with them. They'll find a friend in you.
What do you call a safe environment for children?
Wow. A safe environment for children. First of all, the home. A safe environment for children is where every single child is free to express what they feel without fear of the reaction of the people around them. That's it to me. A safe environment for children is where the child is very free to express, to say, to act in a way that they feel is good without fearing the reaction of people around them. But we create bad environments when we are always waiting with a stick. Let them mess up. Hold their hand. Tell them, without holding a stick, you've broken this glass. Tell them why the glass is important. Probably they don't know. They just think glasses show up in the cupboard. You've had children that say milk comes from a fridge. And it's okay. It's okay because you're not taking them to a cow and showing them this is where milk comes from. And to get this milk, we pay money. Trust me, if you do life with them, and they know that if I break a glass, if I pull down this TV, it takes money for me to put up another. And it takes me to go and first work for me to get money. So that's a safe environment for me.
No, I have a nephew. He told me that one thing that he hates about school is because they cane him. He told me if he had an option, he would not go to school because they cane him. How do you think schools or institutions can work together with parents to ensure a safe environment for children?
For children, as in the best school in the world. I don't know if it's okay to advertise it here, but as in the best school in the world, I always tell it. My primary school was the best. We were not allowed to be punished, hard punishments. But there are so many ways of punishing your child, not necessarily beating them up. We've moved past beating children. Children, listen. Sometimes I wish I became a teacher. I feel I would be the best teacher because sitting down with a kid and tell them, why did you fail mathematics? What is happening? Do we ever as teachers think of what the child is going through? Or we just think they have to automatically pass? What if you are the problem, the teacher? What if you speak and you're always low and they don't hear what you're saying? Well, what if the child is mentally not fine? It's just creating an environment, a space where children can freely talk to teachers, freely talk to their parents, freely talk to their leaders in society. I understand that all these things happen because we have created a very big wall. We've become superstars. Trust me, if a kid saw their mother crying in most families, that would be hell to them. They don't understand that it is okay to cry. But because you're acting plastic, you're acting like angels, let them know that you also make mistakes. Let them know that teachers also make mistakes. And it's okay to say, I'm sorry. Now, imagine introducing them to this, and you also playing a part in their lives, you're making them understand that you can open up and tell me, I'm mentally not fine. Probably, yeah. As in the best school, I got the best support system that built confidence in me. Way through, I really faced life with a lot of confidence because of the impact my school put on me.
And actually, I was about to ask, the children also have emotional problems?
They do so much that you can't tell, because they don't know how to express them. But if you're paying attention, I literally can know when my sweetheart is like my baby, my sibling is not okay, without them telling me. Even when they're laughing, I can know they're laughing in a way that, but there is something missing, because I know them. And when you approach them and you listen to them, there is something, and it can be solved. Expose them to things that will help them open up to you, and before you know it, you'll be having them at your feet.
What is your advice to our parents regarding children or upbringing of children?
Like I've been saying, one, create a relationship with them. Create it. It's not the child to create it. It's the parent to take the first step to creating the relationship. Children are always willing to be part of the relationship, but because we create boundaries, we push them away. Two, and talk to parents. If I can look in the camera, and talk to parents that allow their children go with vans at 4 a.m. I get up at 5 a.m. going to work. You find vans with sleeping children. They're exposing them to mental pressure. Schools are expecting these children to perform. Parents are allowing their children to go at 6 a.m. Can you imagine? The children don't have space. They go to school. Now, when they get to school, they're learning and they're being beaten for sleeping in class. They are being beaten for not performing well. They're going to play. Children love playing. They're going to play. They'll come back home when they're tired. They have to watch cartoon. They have homework. They get home, they reach the hands of the maid. The maid is all shouting at them. They are put under pressure and they are living on tension. If I want to challenge every parent to see how their children wake up. When you tap on them and waking them up, do they wake up freely? Like, do they stretch and wake up freely? Or they wake up in fear? It's getting up and you're all scared and you're all on tension. That's what our children are going through. Parents are letting our children be raised in a hard way, in a very cruel way. If you're not ready to have a child, don't give birth.
And by the way, there is these boarding schools. You find at 2 years, a child is already in boarding. And they wake up at 4.
At 2 years.
It's really harsh.
If I had power, I would make you know that there should be no boarding in primary school. Boarding should start in senior 3. Because by that time, somebody has matured, somebody has grown. But you find a P3 kid getting up early morning to go for school. Like, I initially just beat my understanding. I imagine and parents are fine with it. They wake up early morning, prepare them, put them on the van, and they're like, wow, they've gone. Then they also rush to work.
They feel relieved.
They get to school, teachers already have their stress. They get there, teachers are already tough on them. They are doing ABCD, they are shouting at them. Children are always on the run. The only safe space they find is when they are playing. But they're playing, but they're also scared. Teachers are going to shout at them. This is how you're playing. This is how you're making noise. And if they don't make noise when they are little, when do you expect them to make noise? If you don't allow them get into the mud and enjoy that edge, when do you want them to do that? Because playing is a biggest contributor to our mindset growing, to the mental growth. It's very key. Playing, allowing them explore, get into the mud, destroy, like just move around in the compound is very healthy and important for them. So the advice I can give to parents: love your children. You don't love your children enough if you still let them leave your house by 6 a.m. If school for a baby, a young kid should start at 9.
Actually, some parents think that providing for the children, like the necessities and all of that, is enough to show
It's
that you love
not.
them.
It's not. If you give birth, then you have to face this. You have to walk a journey with your kids. If you're not ready to do that, then you're in the wrong place. You're in a wrong career. Even people that have not given birth, if you're not ready to be part of the journey every day, be concerned on a daily basis how your child has been at school. Actually, I expect parents to go to pick their children from school. Get there, ask questions. How have they been today? Were they paying attention in class? How did they behave? Bring out these conversations. Create a relationship with the teachers. But we have parents that just back at teachers. It's unfortunate. Yeah, but all these things are workable. It's never too late to start. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
It's a
for your
pleasure.
time.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah,
It's my pleasure.
And for the beautiful conversations. And I hope our dear parents have had, and it's a lot. There is a lot of gap between parents and their children, leaving everything to the caretakers, leaving everything to the maid. Thank you so much for showing up here on the profile and for the beautiful conversation. And thank you so much, our dear viewer, for being a part of the show. And don't forget that this video has been brought to you by Alicia Fashions and Makeup Glam. And also be sure to subscribe to our channel at Nyensenga Christine, and also follow us on all our social media platforms at Nyensenga Christine. Until next time.